Greetings, fellow detectives. Wizard Kitten 774 here, bringing you my review of the 7th mystery in the Nancy Drew series, Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. As usual, my reviews are divided up into 5 different categories, each of which is scored on a scale of 1 to 10. Those 5 categories are plot, characters, setting and design, entertainment and gameplay value, music and vibe. The scores in each category are then added up for a total possible score of 50, and I then assign a letter grade to the game as well. So let's get started with a review for Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake, starting with the plot. I am a huge fan of the plot in this game. Basically, Nancy is called to Moon Lake in Pennsylvania, where a friend, like a kind of a family friend, Sally McDonald, she's just recently purchased this kind of old house on Moon Lake, and she was going to do a bunch of photography there. She's a photographer, but the second that she gets there, these really creepy things start happening, and she just can't take it anymore, so she calls Nancy and asks Nancy to come out and help her figure out what's going on. But when Nancy gets there, Sally is gone too, and she gets this call from Sally saying that she just couldn't spend another night there because she was too scared of the ghost dogs. And then Nancy has an encounter with these ghost dogs as well. So the whole plot of the mystery is Nancy trying to figure out what is going on with these ghost dogs. Are they real? Are they actual ghosts? Why are they attacking the house? Why are they so vicious? It's just a really interesting and unique plot. And what makes it even more interesting is the fact that we have this awesome historical subplot. So the house that Sally has purchased used to belong to a notorious gangster, Mickey Malone, and his house was reportedly used for these big parties, but nobody really knew anything about how he held these parties because it was during the time of Prohibition, so you're not supposed to be having any of these sorts of parties, but he had them anyway. So Nancy gets to solve basically a historical mystery on top of solving the current mystery of the ghost dogs. The ghost dogs also are rumored to be the ghosts of the dogs that Mickey Malone owned when he was alive, when he was living in the home, and the dogs just get so mad when anyone else tries to live there that they start to attack the house. So that's kind of the superstition behind the mystery. So Nancy also needs to figure out if that is true as well. It's just really well done. They do a really nice job of connecting the current day mystery with the old mystery, with the historic mystery. There's no plot holes that I can think of. It's really interesting, and you're really kind of kept on the edge of your seat the entire time, which makes it one of the best plots in the entire series, in my personal opinion. I'm a huge fan of this plot, so I give it a 10 out of 10 in this category. So next, let's move on to characters. So for characters, we have 3 main ones besides Nancy. We have Ranger Jeff Akers, who works at the ranger station on Moon Lake. He's a park ranger. He is a very big fan of rules, especially the park rules, and is very upset when anyone breaks those rules. And he wants to create Moon Lake State Park. It's already a state park, but he wants to make it an even bigger park and an even more prestigious park. Then we have Emily Griffin, who owns a little shop on Moon Lake that sells a bunch of kind of random things. She gets artifacts from the lake, old artifacts that kind of fell into the lake. She sells live bait, she sells batteries, she sells all sorts of random things. And then there is Red Knot, who is a bird watcher who has a bird watching station platform, is the word I was looking for, relatively close to Sally McDonald's house. So those are our 3 main characters. We do have several very interesting phone characters as well. It's a nice little set of characters. They are all interesting to talk to. They each have their own unique personalities. We get to learn a little bit about some of their histories. We learn a little bit more about Jeff Akers and his motivations. We learn a little bit more about Red and Emily, but not too much. The characters, it is a really nice little cast, but that's the kind of the problem that I have with it, is that it's little. There's only 3 characters, and it's kind of rare for there to be only 3 characters in a Nancy Drew game. It makes it a little less realistic and a little bit easier to kind of figure out who the culprit might be. You're not really interacting with a whole lot of people, so the character interaction is toned down a little bit, which can be okay. I mean, some detectives don't like to interact with characters as often. They'd rather explore the environment and look for clues and that sort of thing. So it doesn't detract from the overall quality of the mystery, but it is something to point out that the cast of characters is rather small. Still good, but small. So I give characters for Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake a 8 out of 10. Now moving on to setting and design, which takes into account where the mystery takes place, how that's incorporated into the mystery, and then the graphics as well, the background design and the design of the characters. I am in love with the setting of this mystery. It takes place in Pennsylvania, but that we don't really have anything to do with the culture or the history of Pennsylvania. It's more just the setting takes place in a forest on a lake, which is exactly where I grew up, so I probably have a nostalgic connection to that setting as well. It's when you walk around the woods, when you get in your little motorboat on the lake and they show pictures of this scenery, when you hear all the bird noises as you're walking through the trails. There's a creepy old cemetery in the forest too, so you find that, and it's really exciting. The ranger station is done really well. Emily's shop is done really well. So even the two little locations that you go to outside of the main location, which is Mickey Malone, now Sally McDonald's house, are also really well done. Plus, something that I also really love is about halfway, 3/4 through the mystery, we find another location. I don't really want to spoil it because it's so cool, but we find another location and it's also just gorgeous. The background graphics for this game are stellar. I think the only thing that could have made it better was if the water on the lake moved and if the leaves in the trees moved. But that doesn't really detract from the mystery, especially since this is such an early game. That would be pretty advanced in terms of graphics. So I'm not going to hold anything against the game in that area because they are designed so well. The art is just beautiful. And the characters are really nicely done as well. There's still a little bit of that clunky animation, I suppose. They're a little bit robotic, as they are going to be for quite a while in the games, just because they're relatively early. But it doesn't detract from interacting with them. They look natural. They look like normal characters. It's a very nicely done animation. So I really have no complaints when it comes to the setting and design. There's a few minor things, but nothing that would make me want to detract points from it because it is so perfect and it feels so authentic. Speaking as someone who has lived in that kind of environment for most of my life, those woods and that lake, it's really beautiful. So I give setting and design for Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake a 10 out of 10. Moving on to entertainment and gameplay value. This game is so fun to play. One of the reasons it's so fun to play is because you have this gorgeous setting that you get to explore, and you're continually getting the chance to explore more areas of the setting. You start off kind of only being able to explore the house, then you get the ability to go to Emily Griffin's shop and the ranger station, you get the ability to walk through this forest, and then you discover this secret location. It's just so fun. Everything unfolds in a really nice way, which I absolutely love. Plus, this game is extremely fun because it is terrifying. This was only the second game that I played when I first started playing the Nancy Drew series. I was relatively young, I was about 11. This game scared me so bad that there were times that I honestly couldn't progress because I was just too scared to do what I know that I had to do. And the fact that a computer game was able to make me do that is really, really cool. These ghost dogs are just so creepy, and they have these background noises in the game where you can kind of hear the dogs howling in the distance, and it's so cool. It's just terrifying. So it makes the game really fun to play. In addition to having this really interesting plot, this gorgeous setting that you get to explore, and a nice set of characters, you also just have this incredible environment and this incredible scare factor. So I absolutely love playing this game. It's a lot of fun. It's a great game to replay because it'll still make you jump even after playing it countless times. You will still probably jump at some points because it's so good at that scare factor. So I give entertainment and gameplay value a 10 out of 10. And finally, we move on to music and vibe. I Absolutely love the music for this game. It's just really perfect given the setting of the game. We have this really kind of happy and sunny track that plays when you're walking around during the day. So it's like, oh, the woods aren't scary at all. Look how happy they are. There's birds chirping, and you can go on this nice little hike, and nothing's scary at all. And then you go to this nighttime, and then you get this really creepy track. And it's not like dun 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 type music. It's not really intense, but it's really kind of subtle and really just creepy. I think it's called Moonlight Nostalgia is the track that plays there, and it just really adds to the entire vibe of the game. This game, it really excels in vibe because it needs to feel creepy and it needs to feel exciting, and it does that all the time. It also has these really cool tracks that they transport you to the Roaring 20s, which is when Mickey Malone was this kind of big time gangster. So the music does a really good job of tying in that element to the game as well, while still making you feel like you're in the present day. Absolutely succeeds in this area. The vibe is incredible. I love the music. So I give Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake a 10 out of 10 in this category. So if we add up all of our scores, we have a 10 for plot, 8 for characters, 10 for setting and design, 10 for entertainment and gameplay value, and 10 for music and vibe, for a total score of 48 out of 50, which gives us our second A grade for the entire series, the first one being the final scene. If you were to ask me if you should play this game, I would definitely say yes. This game is easily in my top 5, and it always has been since I've played it. Again, that might have something to do with the nostalgia that I get from playing this game, but even without that, I think it would still be one of my favorite games because it is so well done. The plot will keep you interested the entire time. You'll probably get a little bit creeped out and a little bit scared, which for me makes the gameplay experience so much more interesting, and which makes me want to recommend it so much more, because it really is going to affect you. It's really going to stay with you, and I think the best kind of games are going to do that. Those games are really going to affect you and make you want to play them again and again. It's an absolutely incredible game. I highly recommend it to anyone. Even if you're a little worried about the scare factor, play it with a friend. I mean, I played it with my brother the first time I played it, and that helped us get through it. So it's so much fun. So much fun. Absolutely recommend this game. Thank you so much for watching this review, fellow detectives. I look forward to seeing you soon in future reviews and walkthrough. See you soon.